Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Templar's Charge on Rocket Rabbit Commentaries as part of the Legacy of the Void campaign in StarCraft 2. And in this episode, we'll be finishing Templar's Charge with a fleet of carriers after we bring our Corsairs back into the goddamn fold. Yeah. Alright, so one of the big things that I personally recommend is getting a level 1 air attack, level 1 air armor, and level 1 plasma shields, because as I mentioned in the previous part, carriers are freaking fragile, very fragile, and because they continuously attempt to engage enemies at not maximum range, they have a tendency to take a lot of anti-air attacks in this mission. And that's a problem because, well, without Reconstruction Beam, which is something I just don't have the solar right to afford, it's very difficult to keep your first set of carriers alive.
Scramble. Showing.
That's why it's also why we're running Solar Lance over Orbital Bombardment, for the record, because Solar Lance is just significantly more powerful. We hit the time stop button.
Huh. Didn't look like time stop was in effect.
Well, that's because you're not sure what to look for. You did see the white glowing field that was surrounding our enemies, right?
No, okay, so my question is, does time stop cause animations to stop in place?
Yes, it also specifically causes map scripting to stop, which is interesting because it's not supposed to do that, but it definitely does do that.
So what, like if a character is in the middle of speaking, it's going to stop that character?
It won't stop a character in the middle of speaking, but it will prevent a character from starting to speak.
I see.
Oh, like you would have seen it just there. Specifically, we had destroyed the Solarite container, and it took us until time stop was over in order for us to collect it. So Karax was unable to tell us that we had successfully collected the Solarite. Hey, it's a battle cruiser.
And 2 hybrids.
Yes, lance the hybrids.
Kill them. Annihilate them.
Now that we've got seven 111 carriers, this mission is effectively for the most part over. We just actually have to collect the remainder of the objectives whilst we're going through this. The big thing that I want to do is get a full fleet of a full 10 carriers out. But carriers also happen to have relatively high psi counts, so 10 carriers is what, 60 psi? I think it's 60 psi. You'll notice that I spend a good deal of time taking out a lot of these extraneous missile turrets, and that is because at the very last thing that I want to do for this mission is climb up this wall on this right-hand side of the map in order to get to the second primary objective, and then use the top layer of the map to get the final objective. It is not the way that this mission is intended to be played, for the record. You're supposed to get this one, then go diagonally up to the left in order to get that one, then finally go to the top right corner. But the top right corner, if you do it that way, ends up having multiple fucking battle cruisers as defenders warping in on top of you, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that shit. We'll deal with the more heavily guarded one first, and then turbo down the last one. But you'll notice, although we've only been at this location for approximately 2 or 3 minutes, we're already out of minerals and Vespane here. You should also notice, however, that we have a boatload of additional minerals. This is one of the big problems that the Protoss actually has as a whole. All of their useful units require a decent amount of Vespane, and because of that, they end up with a shitload of minerals usually that they can't spend. There's no reason for me to build Zealots on this map. I can't use them anywhere unless I switch over my Void Ray specifically to the Ire Arbiter, and I don't want to do that because this mission is totally based around using, well, carriers.
Well, so instead of prioritizing mineral deposits at this point, you should prioritize collecting Vespane deposits.
Yeah, and the thing is, there are only, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 Vespane deposits on the entire map that are worth actually collecting. And even then, they're at about half value, right out the gate. So The one thing that that StarCraft 2 carriers have over StarCraft 1 carriers that I will always acknowledge is the fact that interceptors are free and automatically build themselves. It makes it so that they're significantly less taxing in order to support. They're significantly less taxing in order to support having in your army, but they still require a decent amount of support. Even with this fleet of 7 carriers, I am not confident in going against 2 bunkers because, well, interceptors without full upgrades don't actually do all that much damage, and those bunkers have got Marines in them, so...
The sword in Saturn.
Kill the Wraiths! Sorry, those are Vikings.
Well struck.
It is very important to make sure that you're manually targeting each of the units before the interceptors end up back in the carrier, because if your interceptors make it all the way back into the carrier, it takes them a couple of seconds to do a full relaunch. They do not swarm out like you want them to. They end up launching individually.
Angry hive of bees these interceptors are.
Yes. And that is something that I've already made mentions of, past Gerdat. How do you plan to have us do that, Mr. Thor? Looks like you're already deaded. Oh, there he is. And that is an elite Thor. The elite Thor, rather explicitly, is much better against air units than the normal Thor is. I'm not sure how much better, but I know it is slightly better.
These interceptors just shred through units, though.
They shred through units, but they're really bad against buildings for some fucking reason. I know that buildings have a natural armor of +1, but, like, it shouldn't be that bad, you know?
Well, this is why, outside of schools, skyscrapers, or homes, that you will see little construction paper black-colored cutouts of birds posted in the windows in order to stop other birds from flying into said windows and dying on impact.
I've actually never seen that. Huh.
I have heard of, in my experience, I think I have seen at least one time a bird fly right into a fucking window because it thought that it was a clear passable route.
I have seen that happen, certainly. Matter of fact, that happened a lot in the apartments back in Davison. Or at least I think it happened a lot. I'm not sure if it actually happened a lot or not.
You see, we are trying to save birds from their own stupidity because humans are simply too capricious in order to have their windows be anything other than translucent and glass.
Or being attacked by an aerial hybrid and I'm not noticing it. No!
So individual interceptors can be destroyed, yes?
Yes, they can. That is why it is important that the carriers have the ability to auto-replenish them. But now we have an attack and movement speed steroid thanks to our Matrix Overload. Haha!
Alright, well...
Yeah, that Wraith is going to end up killing that pylon. That's fine. That
with
pylon
the Cane
is
of
only
Samaria.
really here right now for us to get a Matrix Overload boost on our way out.
It is nearly offline, Hierarch. There is only one more core. Well done, Karax. The attack...
Hell, that Wraith is already almost deaded.
Their power is low, but their insanity is high.
There we go. Move our base platform down again. One of the more interesting things is that time stop actually doesn't cost energy to cast. I'm relatively convinced that this is not how it's supposed to be. I mean, it doesn't say it's supposed to cost energy to cast, but I'm pretty sure Purifier Beam actually costs 100 energy to cast, whereas Solar Lance, Warp and Reinforcements, both of those cost energy to cast. The big thing about time stop is that it's got a 5-minute cooldown on it, so you realistically only get to use it, like, if you're doing this mission efficiently, twice. Like once for one of the big side objectives, and once again for the final time that you need to use it. Like right here, time stop.
In the name of Amon. No, I will leave that to you. Karax, Mobius Corps battle cruisers are warping away from the Spear of Doom.
Yes, and if we're lucky, we'll have this final objective dead before they show up.
Yeah, everybody just stand and wait for a second.
There we go.
Yeah, just hold a bit longer. Okay, good.
The final power core has been destroyed.
So yeah, we managed to avoid the final wave of battle cruisers that they were supposed to send at us thanks to time stop. It is very nice.
We repelled the invaders before they could reach the solar core. Our weapon systems are yours to command.
Behold the power of orbital bombardment.
Fire!
We blowed up the Revan Star. Yay!
Yay. We have victory!
Now,
Yes.
let's see. We got 26 of 72, and I think we needed 30, right? 42. Oh, well. Thankfully, I did manage to keep all of our starting up carriers alive. At least I think so. We might have lost one.
Huh.
Amon's
Meanwhile, in the Council of Heroes...
Actually, afterward in the Council of Heroes.
shattered. And yet, for the briefest of moments, we lingered on the cusp of ruin.
Oh, look, a deactivated probe. Let's fix it.
Because of the actions of one brave Templar.
Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
In the midst of darkness, I have seen a light. I have seen.
Thank you, Karax.
divine hope. Karax of the Kalai, you were born a craftsman from a caste of engineers. But now, you stand as a warrior.
And Rohana is still in her stasis cell.
That the age of castes has come to its end. Today, we must all become Templar.
Yay! And that's Karax's final shining moment in the campaign. Except for the next mission, where we will get to use Karax's absurdly powerful abilities to our actual advantage. I really wish we got to play more with Karax, because Karax as a hero unit is fucking amazing. But we'll get into that next time.
You strive to maintain this flawed existence, but you will not stop.
Oh yes, we will, Amon.
Amon, I have destroyed your Terran army, eradicated your hybrid facility, and turned your servants to my side.
And I did it all in the span of a week, apparently.
Destruction. Impudence. You are insignificant in the face of the salvation I bring.
And yet you keep throwing forces at me.
Come to Ire and die.
He is gone. He is so arrogant. Just as he could look into me, so I have looked into him.
And what have you learned, Rohana?
His form is almost complete, and now he waits for us to return. He plans to bring the Great Fleet down upon us.
I hope he's got something big planned.
We have to eliminate
Well, it's gonna have a big a problem.
If he intends to use the Golden Armada to stop us from destroying his body, then you are right. Destroying the Psi Matrix is essential.
Oh no!
This connection of yours has proved worthwhile. But it is time to free yourself from Amon. Sever yourself from the Kala.
I would relinquish all that I know.
And in exchange, you would become something more.
Unshackle yourself from the past, Rohana, and step into this new age.
Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age. Welcome to the new age. To the new way. Whoa, 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 whoa. Free from the color. Free from the color.
I don't know where this camera is.
This guy's like, heh, heh. These guys are gonna bone anytime now. I can't
No,
wait.
they're not gonna bone.
You will set a course for ire.
I think Rohana still carries a bunch of her classism. Anyway, as we go into the next part, be safe, everybody. We're going back to Ire.
Except you, Alarak. You suck.
Yeah, fuck Alarak.
Devastated the sector, Artanis. I know we cannot engage them directly, but this must not continue.
We're working on it,
So?
Vorazun. Be safe, everybody.
How do you like the new haircut, Rohana? Little easier to wash your hair?